like to call to order the Madison District Public Schools regular Board of Education meeting for Monday, May 1st, 2017. Ask that you please rise, and gentlemen, remove your head coverings before the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Kimball. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Gonzalez.
Ms. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Honer?
Here.
Mr. Kimball?
Here.
Mr. Marr?
Here.
Mr. Morrison?
Here.
Mr. Pittman?
Here.
Ms. Preston?
Absent with notice. Thank you. Public input is fundamental to the operation of Madison District Public Schools. Our public has an opportunity to speak at every Board of Education meeting. A period of time known as public comment is set aside at each meeting to give parents and other citizens a chance to speak directly to the board about school-related topics. Anyone who wishes to speak to the board must fill out a request form and give it to the board secretary, Ms. Gonzalez, before the meeting begins. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. School employees will not use this form to discuss job-related topics. The Board of Education accepts comments made during public comment from anyone who follows these guidelines. Public comment is one of the many information sources that the board uses before making decisions in the best interest of the children who attend Madison District Public Schools. The board also works with the district staff to address citizens' questions and concerns.
We have one tonight, Gloria Jean Moore.
Thank you.
Seniors for seniors.
Ms. Moore.
Hello. I'm interested in recruiting high school seniors, incoming and outgoing, and also college seniors, incoming and outgoing, to join Friends of the Madison Heights Area Senior Citizens. Whether it's a single project, which would require a project manager, and which would show leadership, or they would gain leadership qualities out of that, or to join completely and even form their own branch of our organization. And we look forward to seeing everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Board and guests, if you would please move number 5 on your agenda up to number 3, and we'll move the superintendent's report. And Mr. Speck, the floor belongs to you.
Appreciate that, Mr. President. So we're going to move into our Students of the Month here in just a minute, but I wanted to kind of use this opportunity to show a presentation that we put out, launched last week. And I'll let the video and the story behind it kind of tell the story, and then I'll add to that in just a minute. Madison District Public Schools is located in the suburbs of Detroit. It serves hundreds of families from diverse ethnic and socioeconomic backgrounds. For many, life goes on every day with the opportunity to provide for their children. But for many others, those opportunities don't exist. Life isn't always easy, and challenges and obstacles make thinking about the future difficult, if not impossible. Madison Schools has a dream to see every student given an opportunity to pursue education or training after high school. One way that we are equipping these students with that opportunity is by providing them with a children's savings account. Every day I get to see kids in these hallways looking for something. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a smile, maybe it's a hug, maybe it's their future. And I see their energy and I think to myself, what more can we do? We know in our neighborhoods and our communities there can sometimes be a sense of lack of hope, and lack of dreams, and poverty that truly exists. But what we want families to know is that when a child is in our school building, no child is poor, no child is without hope, no child has a lack of dreams, because in our buildings, in our schools, we have people who are working with kids every day to help their dreams come true.
That means that there's more than one answer here.
The Madison District Public Schools, that's part of our mission, to serve families one student at a time, and to let children know that we love them, we care for them, and we want to see their dreams come true. We're in the 12th grade. You guys are so great. Several years ago, I had the honor of meeting Jim Myers, more commonly known as the WWF Hall of Fame wrestler George the Animal Steele. He grew up right here in Madison Heights and overcame many of the same challenges these kids today are still up against. Coach Myers openly talked about his struggle overcoming dyslexia. His time in Madison as a teacher and coach is well known. His time as an international entertainment superstar with the World Wrestling Federation is legendary. But he didn't forget about the power that comes when a school community can wrap itself around a student and a family. That power can be contagious because it offers hope. After the passing of Coach Myers in February of 2017, we wanted to do something that would honor his commitment and legacy to Madison Heights, giving kids the opportunity to pursue education after high school. We are launching the Jim Myers K2C Fund, giving kids the opportunity here in Madison District Public School to go from kindergarten to college and career training. Here's how the fund works. Children's savings account will be set up in the name of every child with an initial investment of $100. Families will have the ability to contribute, thus giving them real ownership of their child's account. Every year, the school district will add additional monies so more opportunities can happen for more children. Research shows that when a financial boost is given to a child's education, several things can happen. There's an increase in expectation of college and career training after high school. There's an increase in attendance. There's an increase in completion rates. There's a reduction of student debt, and there's less of a financial burden on a family. This project is really exciting. And our first goal is $60,000. And it's hard to believe that for only $60,000, hundreds and hundreds of accounts can be set up, giving kids new opportunities, new dreams, and new definition of what success is really like after high school. Your gift can make all the difference in the world for these kids and this community. Studies show that the #1 link to upward social mobility is the access to higher education and career training. And your gift can provide that access. Go to madisondistrict.org/K2C to find out how you can join the legacies of Jim Myers and so many others as we work together to build brighter futures for our kids, so that one day these hallways will be full of children as they walk from kindergarten towards a lifetime of success.
So, that's pretty exciting. We started that last week. We launched that last week. The way it works is how I explained it in that. Our ultimate goal is to have a children's savings account for every child in this district. The younger they start, obviously, the ability to accumulate will be more when they graduate from Madison High School, have a chance to go on to college or career training. That money will follow them. And we're really excited about it. So in that video, which was only made a couple of weeks ago, I said that the goal in there was $60,000. And I'm really glad to say that only after a few days with actual cash on hand and commitment, we're already at $75,000. So we are, at least through next year, when we start putting the accounts together, next year we already have our preschool up to about 6th grade completely funded in the first year. We're really excited about that. So we wanted you as an audience here tonight, the folks at home, to be able to see that as well. We had some our friends at Channel 4 and Channel 7 came out, really did nice stories on this, and we had a group of people who got together last week to really make some of those early financial commitments, and more have been committed to us, and more is on the way. So we wanted to share that with you before we get into Students of the Month. And this is kind of interesting tonight because not only are we going to talk about some of our students at all of the different schools, but we're also going to have a little bit of a show and demonstration. We're going to start first with Madison Elementary. I'm going to bring up Mr. Webster and Ms. Whiteside and part of the elementary robotics team. They're going to talk about that, and then we'll move into Students of the Month for the elementary in just a minute. Ms. Whiteside?
All right, ready? All right, so my name is Mrs. Whiteside. I have the pleasure of teaching technology at Madison Elementary along with robotics twice a week after school, alongside Mr. Webster, who is also a first grade teacher. We started in about August, not really knowing what we were doing, where to begin, what program to do. The high schoolers kind of came in and showed us some back stuff. We're like, okay, yeah, we can do this. Kind of got in a little bit over our heads, and then we realized, oh, all right, like, what do we? So we just kind of rallied together, got support from parents, divvied up groups, had support from Mr. Gilbertson, Mr. Speck, and we started our robotics team. We ended up having VEX, Lego First League, which we weren't able to do a competition due to getting our kits a little bit later than anticipated. And then we had our Lego Junior League as well, working with the We Do 2.0. Thank you very much to our parent support for that group, because if they weren't there, we wouldn't have been able to have our younger group be a part of this. They've learned a lot. They would be able to speak better on this than I ever could with the robots. They're the ones who built it. They're hands-on. They made the code. So I would like my robotics team, or our robotics team, to come on up. We would like you guys to kind of get like over here, and then we'll kind of just go through and have them all talk about it. Not everyone has to talk. We already kind of designate stuff, but we'll go through that. All right, guys, come on. Pile on in.
Thank you. Can I get to see some?
All right, we have everyone.
I believe so.
All right. All right. Mr. Bex worked primarily with the Bex. I worked primarily with the Lego League, and then Miss Lori Snyder and Miss Teeter worked with our We Do 2.0, the Lego Junior League. So we'll start off with the Bex team, which raise your hand if you worked on the Bex. All right, awesome. Mr. Webster, do you want to take over with the Bex?
Yeah, so with our VEX, we had a competition. We had a competition against 24 other schools, Cranbrook included, and we placed third out of 24 schools in our first competition. This is a big round of applause. And then after our competition, we broke into smaller groups and allowed the kids to explore and design and develop their own robots. And this is one of the robots that this team decided to make and to build and to problem solve all on their own. So do you guys want to show everybody what this robot does? Someone want to grab the controller and take it for a whirl? So they built this robot from scratch. Then they had to wire it and program it using a computer.
All right.
We'll give you more.
So if you hit the top button, yep, it should go. It goes the other way. There you go. Yep. You want to give her a hand?
Oh, did it get stuck on itself? There we go. So, what was your favorite part, guys, about making this robot?
Because I like it. Looked fun.
It was fun. All right. What do you guys have to add to that?
It was fun building the whole part of the claws
Okay.
because we got to add wires and program it a lot.
All right. So yeah,
I think it was fun just building the entire robot.
all together from start to finish. Yeah. And who built this robot?
Me and him briefly, and then Ethan and a little bit later.
This was all student driven. It was not teacher at all. They solved all their own problems themselves through questioning. Do you guys want to show them how the claws open and close? It lifts up and down. It puts things on its back. Really impressive.
Wait, no, you need to press one.
Oh, that's very cool. That's really good. Thank you, boys.
Alright, so these are our, I'm gonna set it behind you. These are our Lego League robotics. Kind of like Mr. Webster, I gave them choice. In January we got back into break. I said, here's a ton of robots you can build. You pick which one. I had two groups. One picked an elephant. One picked a monster, however they would call a dog. I think that they learned way more than they ever could by picking it out and building it themselves. Jaden, how many times did you guys have to take it apart and rebuild it?
A lot.
Way more. And I was like, okay, figure it out. Go back to the steps. I'd very much so let them build it, let them figure it out. Same thing with the code. All the code is on this brick right here. It is programmed on here. You can either do it through this or the computer. And I will let you guys continue talking about what you learned, what you did, what you liked, whatever you want to talk. You guys are good. Savannah, do you want to step over here? You're a part of that as well.
We learned that you have to work together as a group to finish something and to not take it all for yourself.
Yeah. I learned how to program. I learned how to program robots this year. It's a skill that I didn't learn a lot how to do. It's not a thing that you really do with Vex. With Vex, you use a controller. With Lego League, you can fully automate the robots to do things for you. But this robot, it's not really programmed yet. We didn't have any time.
Do you want to show them the one that is programmed? Savannah, I know that was yours. Do you want to press the play button on that one? We might want which one it is. I think So that's just kind of something they put together for this. If anyone's at Science Night, they will be there also, all of us, to show off their stuff. Hopefully more code time too. Anything else? All right, the last one we have is our Lego League Junior who built this WeDo 2.0. This is run off of the software on the computer, which we program over here. Do you want to go ahead and show them that over there since you're closer?
All right, so they built themselves a dump truck. You might not be able to see because it's a little dump truck, so we move the chair. And they can program code to push the truck where it needs to go, and then if they push the green button, and they program it, and they push the button, it should, hopefully, dump. And it's not, because it's shy. Hey!
Did you guys learn anything? What was your favorite part? Anyone want to share? Go on.
I like seeing it dump.
You like seeing it dump? Your hard work pay off?
It's fun.
Taden, Madison, Aiden, Brody, anyone else?
I see once you push the button, it's also fun.
Pushing the buttons was fun. It was fun building the robot. Caden? It was what? It was hard, but you learned a lot, right? Madison? It was fun. All right.
So we're gonna do our student of the month here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then after this, high school. Here's your cue. High school robotics in the back, Mr. Fox. High school robotics. Pretty sure no one's listening. All right, high school robotics. Sorry. That's right. You guys are going to be next because I want these guys to see what you guys can do here in just a minute. So let's do this. Elementary, you guys stand around this table and face these adults. So stand over here. All right. Smile at them. I know they can be intimidating over here. This guy behind them.
Here, Caden.
So Mr. Webster and Ms. Whiteside, you guys will come over here, maybe with me, about right here or so. Then let's do student of the month. So.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, so mine is for Kaylin Gilbert, a 5th grade student. She is a really hard worker, a very good programmer, has learned a lot of stuff, but has also amazed me what she can figure out on her own. I'm just really proud of your work and everything that you have accomplished in robotics. We wouldn't have been able to do half the stuff without you, so thank you.
You guys want to come up? You guys come up. Now you come on. You come. You get to be. Good job.
And my student of the month is Dominic Mullins. Dominic, will you come on up here? Dominic was an amazing addition to our team. I don't know how we could have done it without him. His insight and his problem-solving skills are phenomenal. So thank you.
she's talking about the robot.
I meant the robot. All right.
All right, Madison High School.
Go on over there so you guys can watch the high school.
Robotics is a theme for us, but I'd like to tell you a story about a community changing their expectations and how they view themselves within the school. 4 years ago, Mr. Gilbertson, who was the principal at Madison High School then, started a robotics team. Started the first robotics team at Madison High School. We got a crew together, put together a robot with some help, competed, and got the wheels in motion. With Mr. Speck's help, we were able to start some engineering classes at Madison High School and really start to get this idea of how we want to deliver education, what we want to prioritize in the building. 2 years ago, we hired Danny Fulks to help run with the robotics team. So Danny, Carl, Stephanie, come on up. We're missing Nate Sigler here. Last year, the robotics team with our crew made the playoffs for the first time in school history. And this year, we had a strong season, made the playoffs, and then won the title, won the district title. And so in 4 years, what this team has done with these incredible, incredible kids has gone from no program to the district's best program. Now, when I say district, I'm not talking about just Madison District. Now, when you look at the elementary school students, it looks like we have some competition. So challenge accepted. I can't wait to see you guys at the high school, see what we can put together. I'm talking about the Southeast Michigan District, beating schools like Bishop Foley, beating schools in the neighborhood in Oakland County, and teaming up with Bloomfield and Livonia to win this title. Now, we had a journey that went beyond the district, went to the regional, ended in the top half of the region. But to put things into perspective of what our kids did, they put in more than 150 hours of work on their own time, weekends, after school. In this elementary program that you see, Belinda Cargill, stand up please. This elementary program that you see is in no small part due to her starting it and getting the ball rolling and getting the kids motivated. So, if we could have our high school crew come on up. Now we're missing one from Madison Prep, who was also our driver. But I'd like to have our coaches take a moment to introduce our incredible district champions. We can applaud one more time for district champions. Talk about the way we see ourselves as a robotics powerhouse now. Mr. Fulks.
So we have 6 students, and we are up against teams that had 50 plus, 60 plus students. So, you know, we were kind of short-handed already. So the fact that we only had 6 and we accomplished that feat, you know, they're doing the work of 5, 6 students all at once. So I mean that can't be glossed over. Our senior Belinda, we have a senior Damon, Isaiah. They've been with us. I mean, I've been here 2 years. Belinda, you've been what? All 4?
No, 3.
3? I'm gonna give you 3.5. How's that? She's been 3.5, 3 years in the robotics program. Damon, 2. Isaiah, first year. So they've gained all that knowledge in a short amount of time, and I have no doubt they're going to do phenomenal things at any college or university that they are going to. Belinda, have you decided at all? I haven't quite talked to you. I know I've been writing 8,000 recommendations for you, but
As far as school,
yeah. I didn't want to put you on a spot right now. You don't have to commit or anything like that.
but I'm majoring in biomedical engineering.
There you go. That's amazing. Now, Damon, I know I talked to you quite a bit. I believe you are western bound. I'm not mistaken. So he's
He's a
Western
Bronco.
Michigan. He's going to be a Bronco. He's all excited about that. I have 2 brothers that went to Western, so I'll accept it. I'll be okay with it. And Isaiah, have you decided at all, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take the courses that at MAMC here, cause they provide like the robotics thing. I want to be like robotic technician. So
That's awesome. That's good. Catherine hasn't quite decided. She's our junior, so she's going to be our leader next year, and she's excited about that. We're going to try to get her in maybe possibly some programs this summer to learn some more programming and things like that, because I don't know if you know RoboZone, if you've watched it. It's a big task. I don't know if you've seen, if you were at the carnival. We had our robot out there. It's quite massive. It wasn't here today. I couldn't fit it in my Focus. It's a little bit too big for that. But she's going to learn the ins and outs, and hopefully Belinda, she's seen some things that she's done, so she'll be the leader. And then we have our freshman here, Max. So he's the driver, operator. Belinda helped out with that too, but he's got another 3 strong years. So these guys are and gals are really just a phenomenal group. They really are. So without further ado, do we have Mr. Passion? You can go ahead and give the Students of the Month. And before that, I want to present the medals. Each student got a medal. I've got the administrators the medals. I don't know if Mr. Speck received a medal.
I did.
You did? Okay. I have 2 extra medals I'm going to give to the board, present to the board on behalf of the robotics team.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, so we have our freshman, our main driver and operator, Maximus Finken. We have our one absent student today, Andrew Henderson, was our programmer and main pump squad. So he was there running around and dancing. We have our safety advisor, Catherine Koch. We have our airport transportation. He wants to be called the muscle, but I don't know about that. Damon Carpenter. We have our lead coach helping out in the pits. We have Isaiah Burt. And our longest standing member, team captain, been running the squad for years, Belinda Cargow.
So we're going to take some pictures of the high school, and then let's get the elementary in with the high school as well. Lisa and Dave, you guys will help. So you guys do that first, and then elementary, I'll have you guys stand in front of these guys. Uh-oh, don't want to cover you up. All right, elementary, you guys, why don't you slide in right, high school, take a couple steps back, then elementary, slide right in.
My little one's in front.
Nice job.
I dropped my gun. Oh, no. Yeah, she was a coach.
All right,
She
Mom's
can help
supposed to
out.
do. No, no.
Let's have our middle school now. Miss Monero, Mr. Abdullahad.
Can't really follow that up.
It's hard.
Miss Monero?
Okay, so I'm presenting the awards for Wilkinson. I picked this year, I'm the language arts teacher, and I picked 2 6th grade students who are off the charts this year, just awesome students all around. And the first student is Paul Hankins. So I picked Paul for Student of the Month for the month of May. Come on over this way. I picked Paul for Student of the Month for the month of May because he's one of my quiet and gentle leaders in the class. His NWEA's reading scores went off the charts from fall to winter, and we still have yet to take him in the spring. So we're about to do M-STEP pretty soon, so I know that he's going to be off the charts with that as well. Paul quietly does all of his work in class and sets a great example for everyone around him. He has lots of friends that kind of cluster around him and follow him with his good example. He carries himself with great maturity, and because of that, all of his peers look up to him and follow him. Paul's a great role model in class, and I'm very proud to have him as one of my students this year. And he's also getting a certificate from the state of Michigan, one of our senators. He's getting one of those as well. Then the second student of the month that I got to pick was another one of my awesome 6th graders, and her name is Kendall Simmons. So Kendall's getting a certificate. She also gets one from the state of Michigan, too, from one of our senators. Kendall is an amazing student with a heart of gold. She carries herself also with a very mature manner for her age, and she always writes from the heart. She's one of my most honest writers and greatest writers in 6th grade, and she uses her creativity as one of her most treasured attributes. Kendall is also quiet and sweet, but her gentleness and maturity is never unnoticed in my class, and she always goes above and beyond in making sure her positive behavior is the best. Kendall is another one of my role models in class, and I'm proud to have her this year as a 6th grader.
Madison Prep.
Good evening. I'm proud to represent Madison Prep. I represent the whole staff. They all vote. We have a male and female student of the month, and I'd like to start with our female student of the month, Venice Span, if she'd come on. So, Venice has been a pleasure to have at Prep. She is always respectful and very pleasant each time we have an interaction. We are also very excited for her as she will be graduating in May. Mr. Mitchell says that Venice is a pleasure to have in class, and she always completes her work to the best of her ability. She helps others in class as well. Mr. Morosky, her social studies teacher, says that Venice is respectful and cares about her academic performance and progress. She gets along well with others and comes to school every day with a smile. She is a hard worker and a joy to have in class. Miss Ivana, her science teacher, says that Venice is a student that she constantly sees coming in after school to make sure her work is flawless. She is no stranger to helping students around her, even if they are not taking that particular class. She is a wonderful friend to everyone and has that rare ability to be honest and kind. Mr. Garrett says that Venice has really stepped it up this term in computers. She comes into class prepared and ready to work each day. She is helpful and a pleasure to have. Her math teacher, Mr. Beasy, says that Venice is an excellent student who is also very helpful, but is also able to improve her academics with the students around her because of her attitude. Congratulations, Venice. Yeah, come on up. Oh, it's fine. I'm good. Tashawn Hillsman was our male student of the month, but as I look around, I see that he is not here. I would share with you that he has been a great student with us. He had a little bump in the road last quarter, and so he came back strong, and not only came back strong, but ended up being nominated and winning Male Student of the Month. So we look at that as such a win for him and for us when something sort of slows them down and they fall off, and then they can get back on and be so successful. So let's give him a round of applause. Yeah.
I got one more presentation.
Well, I can just do the art thing, but I can
Just do it. Go ahead.
Okay. So while I'm standing here, I am just so proud to have a teacher on staff who I brought on this year. We lost an amazing art teacher to another district because it was closer to our house, and so we were like desperate to find somebody amazing, and I thought that'll never happen. Well, it did. So if Miss Current would please come up. What I'd like to tell you about Miss Current is that she is so passionate about art and has really brought imagination and creativity and freedom within a framework to really have kids accomplish amazing things in art. The only downside to it was because we lost an art teacher and then took us a while till almost October to gain an art teacher, we were a little low on supplies and resources. She got right on it and said, that's okay, I know how to apply for Donors Choose and all sorts of things. She had some things funded, but then the best story came after that. I'll let her share that with you.
Well, because of Donors Choose, which I set up in January, it was posted all throughout Facebook and word got out to CNG News. They actually came up and approached us. They made a phone call one day that they wanted to do a story on the art program, what donations we were trying to do, what was going on, and next thing you know, they're taking pictures at school and we're in the paper, which to me is very awesome and exciting. And in the Madison, I think the Madison News, you can see the picture of some of the kids' paintings in our room, all the work that they were doing. And that alone, as soon as it hit the internet, had phone call after phone call. Our secretary was calling me like, just got another phone call. Someone just sent an email. Next thing you know, within a day, we're having donations, and all of a sudden we're getting boxes arrive. And thanks to the community and neighbors who are coming in to see us.
Alumni.
Yeah, we just had an alumni today that came and saw us. We've actually raised over $3,000 for our art program, not including what we've done with Donors Choose. Between both programs for our school, we've actually raised over $5,000 going towards our kids. And we're still going.
And the great thing is, it's not just money. Like, we have had gift cards and people are writing checks, and that's amazing. But they also went online and went to Amazon and bought like amazing art kits.
Yeah,
and-
all of a sudden we're getting boxes that are just saying, for your kids, here's a gift and a surprise. We don't even know who they are.
Yeah,
Or
clay
people
and
are
all sorts of
donating
things.
different tools that they've had in their house they're not using anymore. So now we have a clay roller, brand new, that's been donated to us to use for our program so we can actually start having ceramics at our school.
So we're just so proud to be able to say that the kids feel the strength of the community here, and we're so appreciative of it, and the alumni and even non-alumni have just really, really made a difference for our kids, and they feel it, and so we're so excited about that, and so thankful for Ms. Current to get that all going. So.
We have one, Cameron. Cameron? Where's Cameron? I'm going to let Mr. Honer, one of our board members, talk a little bit about you, okay?
I was in charge of placing signs for the carnival. And I had some health issues which really stopped me from doing a lot. And I needed a volunteer, and up stepped Cameron. Me and him worked on Good Friday, 6 hours, putting signs together, putting them all over around the schools, everything else. And I can only tell you that he is one of the most respectful little kids I've ever met. And it's an honor for me to be able to have him get this volunteer award.
Appreciate you. So, Mr. President, really to the board, that tonight was a little bit longer than we normally do with the presentations, but I don't know that we've had better presentations. Really to see the connection of elementary students up through high school students, and a couple of the high school students got their start in robotics with the middle school team when we had that. And then to see one of our graduates going into Mancy next year to take the classes and the courses that we're offering there, it is hard to argue against a real connection that's going from post-secondary down to elementary school. So that was fun to be able to share that with you and present that with you, to share what we're doing with our children's savings accounts. With Carnival this weekend was, I'm sure many of you will talk about it, but there's one variable you can't control is the weather. But outside of the weather, we had just a great organization. Our volunteers, that I'm sure will be mentioned, just did a fantastic job. A lot of our families were out, would sometimes look at the weather, check the weather, but would come out anyways. And it was in some ways we had a much higher attendance than we did on Friday of last year by double. And then Saturday and Sunday you just had some weather issues, but it was another success. We're looking next year at the same weekend, which would be the last weekend in April 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th would be that particular weekend. And we appreciate really the professionalism, I think, of the Skirbeck family and the Carnival Company, the folks who work with that group and travel obviously around to put on carnivals. I also had some really good conversations with members of the community who called ahead of time asking if we were going to have outside music this year, and we let them know that the music and some bands that we had was going to be inside. We appreciate folks from the city. Mayor Hartwell was down, was an active participant, and we had a good time being with him and having him engage with our community as well. So it was a really successful weekend, successful week, I think, that we've just had. And you're really getting to see, I mean, I can talk to them blue in the face, but when you see the kids in front of you and you see what they're doing, and you're hearing from the kids talking about the difference between programming one of those types of robots versus another, that's already over my head. It's already over my head, but for them, they've got it, and they're on top of it, and it's going to be really nice to see. I do appreciate the work that we have, the work that is done with the teachers at all levels, and the parents who are getting involved, because without them, those programs wouldn't go on. And at some point in the future, we may have to take a board field trip to one of these robotic competitions. It's louder than any football game, basketball game you've ever attended. And it is a lot of fun, and it's exciting to see what we're doing. I know for our early ed program, we have an open house coming up.
May 9th.
May 9th,
5 to 7.
from 5 to 7 over at the Early Learning Center, Early Childhood Center. We're excited about that. We're going to be having some new playground equipment coming in over there pretty soon, which is exciting as well. So 5 to 7 on May 9th, we'll have that, and we'll be promoting that relatively soon. So with all that, that's all I've got. Mr. President, back to you.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda, and I'll throw it right back to you, would be a presentation from Sarah Provenzolo.
Yeah. Ms. Provenzolo, I'll just have you come up there right in the middle.
Good evening. Good evening, members of the board. I'm here on behalf of the Madison Education Association. 4 years ago, Wilkinson Middle School held its first annual science night, and it has since grown from a science night geared towards just our middle school to really be a community-wide event that last year had over 1,500 students and family members and members of the community come out and participate. Last year, Madison Education Association donated towards a science night $500. This year we wanted to step it up a little bit. It's really an event that supports our elementary and middle school, and the educators in both buildings help bring that night to life. So this year, on behalf of the educators at Madison Elementary School and at Wilkinson Middle School, we would like to present Mr. Speck a check for $1,000 to donate towards the Family Science Night, and really we want to show in doing so that we support your vision and the board's vision of serving the families of the community.
Thank you very much. Now we can go from all the fun and the exciting stuff into a working agenda. So we could start with 7, that would be the approval of minutes. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the regular board meeting minutes of April 10th and the special meeting of April 17th. Could I get a motion to approve both those meetings, please?
Mr. President.
Mr. Moore.
I can make a motion.
And support?
I'll support it.
Mr. Horner, thank you. Discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 6-0.
I apologize. Get reorganized. The Human Resources list. Everyone has a copy, and have you reviewed it? It is recommended that the Board of Education accepts the personnel report for Madison District Public Schools as it is presented. Can we get a motion to accept the personnel report, please?
Mr. President,
Ms. Cole?
motion to accept the personnel report as read.
Thank you, and support?
I'll support.
Mr. Pittman, thank you. Discussion?
If I could, I'd just like to say that the district is losing a very good teacher, a very well-liked and respected teacher in Mr. Hallis, and we wish him the best. I know all the students at Prep really think, or as far as I know anyways, think very highly of him, and we're going to miss him.
Mr. Garrett was one of my teachers.
Was he?
Yeah. One of my favorites.
Good guy.
Thank you. Any further comment?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. And we'll move into the business office, the check register approval. It is recommended that the Board of Education approves the monthly expenditures totaling $1,492,900 $1,490,517.87, $1,490,517.87. Could I get a motion to approve the check registry, please?
Mr. President,
Mr. Pittman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the check registry.
Thank you, and support, please.
I'll support it.
Mr. Honor, thank you. Discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. We'll move to the bid approval. Ms. Sherman, would you like to give some background on this?
E-rate is one of our funding sources from the federal government, and they have passed new legislation that enables us to go out for a priority 2 funding, which is our fiber lines are inside the data lines. And so it became more cost efficient for us to be able to run our own fiber from each school back to the high school, and to be able to stop leasing the lines from AT&T. So with this bid, we would pay $13,000, a little bit over that, and that's about 2, probably 3 months of what it currently costs us to lease those lines. So as long as we get E-rate funding, we're asking for approval for that bid.
Could you get a motion for approval for the fiber lines, please?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morrow.
I'll make the motion.
And support?
I'll support it.
Mr. Horner, thank you. Reading into the record, it is recommended that the Board of Education approves the fiber installation and award the bid to FiberLink, conditional upon E-rate funding. Discussion?
I have a question. The fiber optic, is that just between the building, or does that cover internal wiring of the building, terminals?
It'll be it'll be the fiber link in between the 2 buildings, and it'll also be the termination inside each building. So we currently have fiber already run to all the buildings, so we don't have to rerun all of the data lines inside.
Right. All right.
How long does a fiber, definitely not technologically intelligent, how long does a fiber link usually last?
No, geez, a couple hundred years.
Forever?
A couple hundred years.
It
I'm
depends
familiar
on-
with fiber optic,
yeah.
that's why I asked. That seems, I mean, with the discount, it seems very reasonable, but without it, that seems extremely costly to run the fiber optic. Fiber optic itself is not that expensive.
They have to run it from the high school to Wilkinson.
Right,
then
do
back
they
to
trench or does it go
Acton.
up on the poles? Do we know?
They put it up on the poles.
See?
It was sent out for bid, so
Oh,
we did have.
I read the whole thing, I'm not disputing that, it's just, it just seems like, for commercial, it's very expensive. But I'm not disputing the fact that there was 4 bids. So.
Any further discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Procurement policies and procedures. I don't see an action on this, so is this just an information? Or did I miss the action?
There is a
Oh,
recommendation.
no, I'm sorry, I do show. It is recommended that the Board of Education approves the new procurement standards in the compliance of the uniform guidance. Their motion to approve the procurement standards, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Honor. I'd like to remind the board that we can't have a discussion without a motion and support. Could I get support, please?
Support.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. And discussion. Ms. Gonzalez?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Committee reports. Mr. Horner, you want to lead us off?
Sure. Youth Assistance meets next Wednesday, and really more focused now trying to get people to understand what we do, so there's no fundraising really I can tell you about or anything else at this point. Parks and Recs meets, I think 2 weeks, or 2 weeks from Thursday. I got nothing to do on that.
Thank you. Community roundtable, Mr. Speck?
I don't have anything for the roundtable. I will add something to Mr. Honer's comments about youth assistance next. On May the 9th, there's a breakfast, the annual youth assistance recognition. And we've got about 65 kids throughout the district who've been nominated just for, recognized for the work that they did. A lot of the robotics kids will be a part of that, so that'll be nice for them and their families.
Thank you. Ms. Piven, anything on the historical side?
No.
Nothing from Oakland County Schools. It was a busy month for me. So we could move directly into board comments, and Mr. Honer, you want to open the floor for us?
Sure. The first thing I want to talk about is the carnival. I was there all 4 days. I sat there and talked to friends, family, constituents, people from all over the community, and I have never heard so much positive stuff about this district. They talked about the carnival employees. They talked about our security. They talked about our food service and how all the carnival employees were buying our food. Even though the weather was what it was, I didn't hear people complaining at all, which makes me think, we're definitely doing something right here. Secondly, I can't forget our volunteers. Laura Gonzalez, Michelle Sherman, Michelle Fuller, Randy, Al, Jimmy Brown, and I'm going to forget people, but our volunteers are just unbelievable. And once again, it's a community effort, and it shows, and people are picking up on that. Then when you look at what else happened last week, Channel 4, Channel 7, everything's so positive. It's just unbelievable. As long as I've been here and on this board, I'd like to say this is possibly the best week we've ever had. We still have our haters, but they're going to be what they're going to be. And like I said, it's been so positive. And then tonight, the robotics, this just shows we have so many things going right with the robotics in the elementary, and these kids all, and I said, when they're standing there, there's a picture, that's just unbelievable. And then with the high school in them, and then MAMC, it's like we got the building blocks to go right where we want to go. And I think the board should be awful proud of all the work we've done. And I just think everybody has to realize it's been a great job.
Thank you, Mr. O'Connor. Mr. Moore.
It'd be hard to, I'm just going to piggyback on Mick. Congratulations to the students of the month, the robotics teams. Yeah, the fair was awesome. And wonderful job, what I got to witness last week with Mr. Speck, Michelle Sherman, Ms. Gonzalez, Mr. Harwood, Mr. Hernovich, Angel. It was phenomenal. I'm really happy with our board. We surrounded ourselves with wonderful people, and they're interacting. There's always that saying, you're only successful as who you put around you. Thank you, guys. It's awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Kimball.
I'd like to congratulate the students of the month and the robotics teams and say good job.
Thank you. Ms. Cole.
Okay. I think up first, the senior citizens fundraiser you guys had, that was really good. I'm happy myself and Mr. Morrison could make it out and see what you guys were doing. It's really good that you guys are out there trying to help the seniors. And hopefully you can get some more community support. We'll try to find some seniors for you. And the carnival was great. every day. The kids just absolutely loved it. I was a little cold. The kids did not care. They really just had a blast. All of the bands that played, they did a really good job. And I know they felt like the auditorium was a little bit empty, but there was quite a few people out in the little area by the concessions, so they were still enjoying the music. They just weren't sitting in the auditorium. So it was really good. I was really excited last week when we had Brittany Wagner come. She is an amazing speaker. I'm really glad she could show up for the professional development as well. The news stories, those were fantastic. And that fund is just something to be really excited about. I would also like to let the community know that we do have an app and a Facebook page, so you can stay updated on everything that we're doing. I mean, if you want to, but, and that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Pittman?
I'd like to start with the robotics presentation tonight. I think that probably maybe a little more than 4 years ago, when this was first mentioned, was sitting right in this room right here, and Mr. Gilbertson and Mr. Speck first started talking about it, and tonight we have 20 kids up here that are involved, and it's just grown every year, and I'm just so happy about that program that I thank Mr. Gilbertson for all of his work, and that's a very good thing. It's going to be a thing of the future, and it's good to see kids that have applied themselves at a young age. The next thing is the K2C, Jim Myers K2C Fund. Channel 4 and Channel 7 did a couple very good stories on that, and I heard that we did, as you mentioned, Mr. Speck had some very fortunate to get some donors to help us out there. Every little bit helps. I would like to say that I'd like to donate my next 3 regular board meeting checks. I know it's not a big deal, but every little bit helps, and I'll do that to the K2C fund. I'm not doing it so that it's for the recognition. I just want it to be on the record so that I'm held to it, because I might not have. No. And the last thing would be the carnival, and I know I was not involved and wasn't any help really at all, so I'd just like to thank Mr. Morrison for all the time. I know there was more than just Mr. Morrison that put tons of time in, but I know that was pretty much his life for at least the last month, and thank you to everyone.
Thank you. And I agree with what Mr. Marner and Mr. Horner said. I think probably as long as I've been on this board now, 7 years now, this was one of the most successful weeks I've seen in the Madison School District. It just, I'm going to try and thank as many people as I can, and I know I'm going to leave people out, so I'm going to do the best that I can here. So the week started off with the fundraising dinner in Royal Oak and Miss Brittany Wagner, and thank you for putting that together, Mr. Speck. It was a great event. It was an amazing event. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, but we had a goal and we exceeded the goal, so I'm extremely happy about that. And I won't steal your thunder, so. So the next morning we were graciously invited to Keys Grace for a press release. That was another amazing day that led into a long night at the carnival. Several long nights at the carnival, I should say. And then to wrap it up with this meeting tonight and seeing the kids from the robotics programs, both at the elementary, not to dismiss the middle school, who was strongly involved with their science program, and the high school. And I just couldn't be more proud of our school district than I am at this point. And volunteers like Cameron, it just shows you what this community is completely about. The fundraising at Madison Prep and the way people step up for the programs around here. And when we put out for volunteers for the carnival, we didn't use the entire list of people that volunteered. It was just amazing. It continues to amaze me. And we're a year out. And The sound engineer has agreed to come back next year. The lighting engineer has agreed to come back. All the bands from this year have agreed to next year already. It's just amazing because in that little block alone for those 2 nights, and being in the business I was in for 30 years, you're talking about $12,000 to $15,000 worth of entertainment and work. And I can't say thank you enough to all of those people. That was just incredible. And for them to jump on board immediately and say, okay, book us for next year, just lets me know that we are in the right direction. And one special thank you, and that is, I'm going to send that directly out to Jim Brown and the amount of incredible work that he did over the weekend. And he did it proficiently, successfully, and without hiccup. And I can't thank that guy enough. He's really what Madison is all about. Very last thing, I'd like to thank, or I'd like to remind everyone about the upcoming science night, and ask that you all attend that. Today, my youngest son, I kept riding my youngest son last week. He had finals. He's a junior at U of M. And I kept riding him about going to bed and telling him, you're going to burn out, you're going to burn out. Well, I got to cram, and he also works a 40-hour week job. And so I kept ragging him and telling him, you got to get some sleep, you're just going to burn out. Well, today he came in and he sat down next to me, he said, hey, Dad. I said, yeah. He said, you know, you got 65 hours in 4 days. And I said, so? He said, you're going to burn out. Sit down, relax. But it's a pleasure to do this, and it's a blast to be here, and I thank every single one of you from my heart in this community. So on that, could I get a motion to adjourn, please? You guys want to stay?
Mr. President,
Mr. Pittman.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Thank you very much, and support, please.
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. 8:10.